Hey, this is Max. I am back with another CSR2 video. So yesterday I did a video on the effects of stage 6 for the Hennessy Venom GT Spyder. Today I'm going to put that to actual practice here with the Evolution Cup. What I did is I adjusted the car so that I can use the minimum number of stage 6, which happens to be 4, utilizing the stage 6s that uses less fusions as well to try to minimize the number of fusions and S6s and yet still get through the Evolution Cup. My estimate is that intake, turbo, and engine are not needed at all for the purpose of hitting the final numbers so long as you have fusioned out on the other parts. The most important seeing from the last video was body and nitrous. You need these fusions. If you're missing these epics and these here for nitrous, you could be stuck just because you're too short on fusions. However, that being said, I took out trans, engine, and intake. Intake, knowing full well it's the most useless. Don't even have to worry about it. I left in turbo. It only has one epic fusion. Engine had 5 and trans had 5. So what it means is that out of 128 fusions, I took out 12 outright. That drops us down to basically 39 upgrades rather than 42. We took away 3 of the S6s and 12 fusions out of 128. That puts you down to 116. I think you can even do it with slightly less, possibly 115, 114 total fusions, but you will need those fusions to hit the target time. So as it sits now, this car still hits under 8.0. If you don't have body or nitrous, as I showed you yesterday in the other video, you would not be able to hit the numbers at all. In this case, it's not hard to get the numbers. You will either hit very close to 8.0 or 7.9s. The dyno is for 7.9, so you should be able to get close, if not right on that. That wasn't the best drive I've ever done with this car. What I noticed is that when you shift into 6th gear with this tune, which I'm going to show you real quick, it's using the final drive at 2.0. So I'm not using an aggressive final drive. So you actually have a slightly longer duration with the shifting. So you don't have frantic quick shifting. Obviously, the target here is about a 307. Now, the other way to tune it is to put the 307 right here. As you can see, you can get basically this almost the same numbers tuning this way, but it'll be 314 and a 7.957, or you tune it here, which actually gets a higher Evo at a 7.909. Now, obviously, if you go more aggressive here, you should also adjust the tires to see if that can give you back the total numbers. You can hit a slightly higher number by tweaking that aggressively. But again, at the end, I find that the 5th gear tune tends to work out better than the 4th gear tune. So I'm going to go move back to that and try to get the maximum number I can out of that tune. 7.909 is the dyno estimate. This car is kind of hard to hit dyno unless you're good at driving it. But as long as it's in the 7.9s, it should get through the Evo Cup without a problem. And I'm going to finish these races here and just kind of demonstrate. Now, the Donna Banks Evo Cup language stuff doesn't pop up until race 10. So Evo Cup is still the 10 races. The other 5 in the front, I guess, are just warm-ups for you to kind of give you an idea how tough this cup will be, because you can't even make it to it without a few stage 6s. So again, I'm going to try to launch perfect, shift to 2nd and nitrous, and then ride out 5th. That's how you hit 307. If you shift into 6, you actually only get about 305. That's not true of every car with every dyno tune, but it is true at least in this case. Now, that's not great. I'm still a little bit off. I'm sure a little bit deeper good shifts would help, but I run the risk of actually hitting the red line and then running in the 8s. So to avoid that, I kind of shift a little bit earlier. Again, Not the best shifts in the world, but it'll get the job done for the purpose of this event. So that one, I let the first gear go a little deeper, fifth gear, fourth gear go a little deeper, and run fifth again to the end. Let's see if that one's quicker or slower than the last run. Yeah, a little bit slower, not by much. So 7.9 is pretty easy to hit. Again, you're not running the full S6s, and if you are running full S6s, you wouldn't have any problem getting through the cup at all. I'm gonna have to add gas next round, but here we will take on the Chiron Sport. All right, that one was late on the second to third or third to fourth. I saw the needle bounce a little bit there, so that's going to be a little bit slower than the last two runs. And almost an 8-second run. The rewards for the Evo Cup's a lot higher. I mean, you're getting 200,000 money at a time, getting 100 gold at a time. That's all very good. That's all going to be helpful because if you didn't already spend some of this right now, you're going to end up spending it when you get that final edition you want to build it. That's probably another 6 million. Plus, in my case, probably 4,000 or 5,000 gold to transfer parts to max it out if that's my goal. I may not do that right away because, quite frankly, I don't like this card that much. And I'm not sure the final edition is going to be so much faster that it's worth all that effort. So I'm going to leave it be, wait for other people to kind of come up with the numbers, and then I'll see if it's worthwhile to me. 7.924 is better. That's closer to the 7.909 dyno. Still not perfect, but not too far off. So again, people wonder, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Well, yes and no. This is a very tough cup. The S6s you can do with 4, but you need nitrous, body, and tire. Those 3 are absolutely necessary. If you take one of those 3 out, even if you had all the other ones, it's going to be very close. Now, if you take body out, even if you have all the other S6s and full fusion, you won't even make it into the 7s. And because this car is so hard to hit dyno with, that makes it extremely hard for you to finish the cup. So body is really pretty critical here. And as you can see, with the body installed and everything else not quite the same, I'm having a pretty easy time cruising through these races. I'm up to 11 out of 15. And at 7.9, I know I will beat the final time, which was already released this morning by many players as being 8.048 or 049, I believe it was the time. So the target time's not that difficult. Now, let's go back and look again. I showed yesterday how important body is. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this car up with everything else but body. And let's see if we can get through that last race. Oops. So I am now adding in all the other stage 6s with fusions. And I'm going to tune it and try to beat that final race 2 or 3 races without the body. Now I need to tune to make sure that I have the highest Evo possible. So let's play with this first, see if 6th gear may be better or not. That's not going to do it. So dyno right now is telling me no good. What about here? Let's see if we can get a better number out of this somehow. So as you can see, it's no good. It's not even worth going forward like that because you're not going to make it. So I'm going to go back again and try to do it again without certain other ones. Okay, let's add body in. And let's take out tire. Let's also take out trans. This is 2, but these 2 are kind of important. So without these 2, I'm pretty sure I won't dyno enough. But this shows that it may be enough, but you're at 709, which means you're going to be slower. Aha, very close. So you could be missing trans and tire and still make it. That's not bad. In fact, that's surprising to me. I actually did not expect to make it with both missing, but that's good news. So 7.986, let's try this. This is going to be tight. And I don't know if the car drives different, so I'm going to find out soon enough, but it's obviously going to be hard because we're getting to the end here, and those races are all going to be the 8.01s, or I mean 8.1s, 8.2, and then 8.04s. Let's see how this does with those two missing. Drives the same. I'm going to let it run out to 5th gear and bounce it through. Ooh, that's tight. That's going to be super tight for that last race. Super, super tight. But that makes it a little more exciting anyway. I mean, I already know I could beat this using a max setup. So let's see if we can make it through without it. This comes down to a little bit of driving skills, which unfortunately I lack, but I'm going to try my best. So depending on your device, some devices cannot get through that first shift real well. I have an old Droid phone where no matter what I try to do, I'm going to end up with the needle kind of bouncing on the first gear, just because the reaction of the tap is so slow that you just don't get the benefit out of it. 8.026 will definitely beat the last race. We're on 13 out of 15 now. So these last few, I should only be maybe a car length to a fender ahead of this guy. So these should be exciting. If I don't shift well, I'm screwed. Okay, let's see if... Ooh, he's coming. He's coming. Ooh, made it. How close? Ooh, so I'm doing a little better here, and they're not quite there yet, but we're getting to those last two races where the final race is going to be an 8.040. If I do an 8.04 something or 8.02 something, that's going to be really close. That's going to almost look like the two cars are crossing the line next to each other. So let's see how it plays out. Uh-oh. That doesn't look good. Come on, catch him! Catch him! Catch him! Ooh, look at that. That was tight. And that was bad on my part. So almost lost that one. Whew. Okay, final race. Don't choke. Don't choke. I'm probably going to choke anyway. Come on, let's do it. So again, this is missing two what I consider to be more key S6s, the tire and the trans. But the trans actually I know isn't critical. Tire is more important. Okay, so that was pretty good shifting on my part. So I'm hoping that I'm going to make this. Ooh, look at that. They almost went through at the same time the way it looks on the screen. I did all right. I did all right. 8.010 on a 7998 dyno. It's not bad at all. And there it is. The Venom GT Final Edition. Love the blue on that car. It's a beautiful color. Kind of a, it's not really a matte blue. It's more of a satin blue, which I like. It's not really shiny, but it's not totally flat. So that's a beautiful color there. I'm really happy to get this car. It's a 5-star purple star, which is nice. And at some point, I'll consider building it. But right now, I'm just going to leave it in the garage and look at it once in a while. Well, and there it is. At the end of it all, you could get through the Evolution Cup without all the S6s. In fact, you can get through with about 4, provided you have the stronger stage 6s. Or you can get through a 5 with 2 of the stronger ones missing. What I can tell you for sure is you cannot be missing body, or you cannot be missing nitrous and tire or trans. If you're missing those 2, you're not going to make it. Otherwise, with enough fusions, you should be able to make it. Now, fusions are key too. I know there are people out there that may have all the S6s, but they're missing more than 20 fusions, and in that situation I suspect you're not going to make it either. So again, this is a very tough cup. It's not a one that's meant for beginners. On my second account, I didn't even bother to try because one, I don't have the car, two, I don't have the gold keys, and it just wasn't worth all the effort to get the car now and then try to build it up to a condition that can actually beat this cup. And that account at this point has been played for about 7 months in a milestone crew, and I know what I'm doing, so I'm building that account as fast as possible with as many of the tricks that I know of as possible, and I'm still not ready for any of these Evo Cups. So that gives you an idea. Unless you're spending money or you're playing this game for a very long time, since probably near the beginning, you're not really going to be fully ready for a lot of these Evo Cups. You can certainly buy your way through. If you buy keys and stuff, you can do it. But again, how much is that going to cost? Depends a little bit on luck and a little bit on what you already have. Well, I finished the cup. I showed you how it's done with the card that is basically maxed. And, that's not really all that impressive, right? But what it tells you is how hard these cups are meant to be. And in the end, it's your decision whether you want to spend some money or not to try to push your way through these things. Uh, Look, it's a game card. It's a digital card that you get in a game. If you love it that much and it makes you happy, there's nothing wrong with spending on it. But I'm not one to tell another player what to do. That's your personal decision. You decide if it's worth it to you. So please feel free to comment on this video, and if you had any thoughts that you wanted to share, I'll be happy to read them and respond to them. Um, Subscribe to the channel if you like these kind of videos, and you'll get notification when I put new ones up. And as always, I thank everyone who watches the video.